So I figured I'd show you guys how this works. So basically right now I've got all my cams out. I've got my lifters, valves, springs, everything out. I could show you how they go together real simply. So basically how this goes is valve is sitting up in here, down there, comes up. This stem sticks up, and how this works is there's a spring right here, retainer, washer, whatnot, and valve keeper. So valve keepers go around here. If I can get it on there, they fit right on there, both sides. Simple. And what they do is they keep the springs and everything compressed, so that when your engine's going, whatnot, cams are turning, this doesn't shoot up and cause any issues. So I'm just trying to show you how this goes with one hand here. Bear with me. Alright, here we are. So now it's together. Now that's basically how it works. Simple. And like I said earlier, blah blah blah, valve keeper, blah blah blah. So that's how it sits in the head, and that's how all these are. I'm pulling all these out. Now you may be wondering how I got these out. That's the bear of it. So I had to buy I think it was like, I don't know, it was between $45 and $65 before shipping and taxes, spring compressor from Turner Motorsports. I could link it in the description. This is the part I bought to do this. Special part you need. I mean, you could probably get away with other compressors that go ahead and it's like a C-clamp style, and it, clamps underneath the head, blah, blah, blah. Sits on top of the valve and compresses the spring that way, kind of like this. But this is different. This is actually made specifically for M62, N62, and a bunch of other motors. M54 I know uses this. But there's all kinds of motors that'll work on. So it's not just a one motor use. You could use it for, if you work on German cars, it's worth the buy. But anyway, that's how I did it, and how it works is without them being in the head, I can just show you, but that piece will slip and sit. It'll hold by that nut on the stud, right? Slips over the stud, and then the nut holds it. So when you compress, you get pushed down and compress the spring like that, as so. So what happened with me when I first bought this is it came opposite. So this was here and this was here. And basically I was wasting a whole entire day pulling, and compressing by pulling, and did it, opposite of how I just showed you. And it was the stupidest thing I've ever went through. I was fucking my back up, and I was really pissed off because I thought, why would they make such a stupid spring compressor, stupid design, blah blah blah. Then come to find out, my ignorance took over and didn't make me think outside the box till the end of the day. Switched them, and then each spring was, compared to how I was doing it before, like cake and butter. It is what it is. That's how this trade goes. You learn as you go. But honestly, it's a pretty good spring compressor. I like it. It does the job pretty well. So I highly recommend. Save yourself some bucks, because some of these spring compressors can be $150 to $200. That was cheaper than most. So hey, where can I go wrong, right? And you can't go wrong with a couple of those, right? So anyway, so I don't think I really showed you guys how this camshaft comes out, but the simple part of it is there's the caps. lifters, all that. It's pretty basic stuff. People really overlook this engine, in my opinion at least. Pull the nuts off, pull the caps off, you know, keep them sequenced where they're supposed to go. Don't let anything get mixed up. Put them on the right way. Lube everything up, you know, straightforward. If you build motors, really shouldn't be that hard to you. Just take the info in, because I know there's not a lot of it out there, and that's also why I'm making this video. So anyway, take them all off, all the caps, you know, bolts come loose or nuts come loose. Pull them off, and then the camshaft comes off. I mean, the one thing I could say is that you got a Vanos gear right here. This was with a chain, sits up on there, like this, right? Got a Vanos gear oil distribution unit. Oh shoot, you know what I just realized is I just taught you guys something stupid, so I mixed this up. I was holding this distribution up. It's kind of it's not really that big of a deal, but this was passenger side head. I was looking at this completely wrong, because you know, a couple beers that'll do that to you, but that's the side that the distribution sits on. Just so you're aware. But no big deal. Like I said, all the info is still transferable. It's same on each head, just opposite. But yeah, sorry about that. I was holding it up here. I feel like a doof for that, honestly. But anyway, so pull all the caps off, pull the nuts off, blah blah blah. This camshaft, intake camshaft on both sides, can't come out until this unit comes out. Learned the hard way on that as well. It's getting ticked off why this one cap wouldn't come off. Well, what do you know? You know, it gets held on by this distribution unit. Pull it off, pull all the caps off, pull the nuts off, keep everything organized. Pull the camshaft out, clean it up while you can with like a steel wool or something, real fine grit, and pull it out. And then you got lifters sitting here, right, in all those spaces. Pull the lifters out and set them aside as so. And then you take, like I said, the valve spring compressor, compress the spring, and you got those keepers. So how I showed you the keepers go in, basically it's the opposite. You pull them out, right? But the way you got to do it is, honestly, it is kind of hard to deal with. It's a bear. You compress the spring, and I could have a video thrown into this video that I took on my smartphone and mix it in with this video just so you guys see me do it. I already did it while I was pulling it out, so that's a good example. Long story short, you know, compress it, whatever, and then you take needle nose pliers. I will say in my little example video, I did not do this, but you take pliers and you pull the pliers into there around that groove. I mean, it's hard to explain, but you put them in there around the groove, you know, go pull out the keepers one by one, pull them out, whatever, and then the spring will loosen up. You'll be able to uncompress it and pull the spring compressor up, and then you can go ahead and, as long as you don't drop the valve keepers down into the head, you're good to go. Just set them aside, keep everything organized by each lifter, by each valve, whatnot. And then after that, once they're uncompressed, you go pull them out, and then you keep them organized like this. And then what I do is I take the lifter, put the keepers right in front of each lifter, each cap, blah 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 blah, and organize it pretty well, and then set it aside. And once you set it aside, you got it out, get them all out. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you in the next little snippet. Take this on a drill. So what I mean by that is a literal drill, you know. I got a cheap little Bauer, whatever you gotta do. This is from Harbor Freight. And loosen that up, and then you literally put the valve in there very carefully all the way back, tighten it up, and then it'll allow it to spin, right? Now what I did on my exhaust valves and some of the intake valves when they were pretty gummed up, I took 400 grit sandpaper. This is technically sand net, but it's the same stuff, sandpaper. And as this is spinning, you know, you take your valve, sitting, spinning, and you take this and you hold it on each part very lightly and let it clean up as it spins, so that you don't mess any of the seals up, how it seats, right? Because these got to seat and seal. So go ahead and spin them, clean them. Do not skip that. I mean, you might as well do it while it's all out if you got it all out. I've got it all out, so why would I skip it, right? You know. So anyway, clean it all up, and then I went ahead and I'm gonna go put it together. That's basically next step for me. But this is just me teaching you, I guess, for now, since nobody teaches me anything. Might as well teach you guys. So go ahead, do that. And I'll be honest with you guys, when you go ahead and compress these springs and you put the valve keepers back in, it's a total pain in the butt. And really, honestly, I don't know how I'm going to get that on video to show you guys how to compress these springs. But I could also link a video in my description to another channel that I was watching, basically showing how they reinstall these springs on the M62TU. He was doing heads and he was reinstalling valves and springs. So I'll link that in there because it helped me, so it'll help you guys. I'll link that as well. And long story short, that's about it. It's really simple how this stuff goes together. I've got my heads all assembled in my trunk, so I've done this already. I'm just doing this on the other side now. But yeah, anyway, so that's how this goes, and I hope you guys learn from it. So I've got all kinds of info. If you guys are interested in any videos that I can get to while my car's apart, if you guys are watching this, give me some suggestions. I'll keep them in mind. Try to go ahead and hop on those for you guys, because it's all apart. Why wouldn't I? I could do all kinds of stuff. I could take the fascia off, whatever. I know there's a lot of videos out there for that kind of stuff, but I just wanted to start doing videos that most people don't do. I know a lot of people don't do these heads and stuff, and people are afraid. They want to send stuff to the machine shop, whatnot. I'd say the only time you really need to send something to the machine shop is when you gnaw up a head, or if you like really had valve damage and you know you can't really fix it on your own at your house. You know, send it to a shop, obviously. I mean, really the biggest thing that I would recommend is decking your heads and your block when you go to lay your heads again. But I mean, I've got my own tricks for that. I could actually make a video for that as well.